Hey guys, so it is the next day. Did not have time to film the backyard garden, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we talk about that, just want to talk about the challenges I've had with this backyard garden. It's changed a lot since you've seen it. One of the challenges I've had are the pests in this part of our area. Surprisingly, I don't deal with as many pests in the community garden that I've been dealing with here. A lot of the pest pressures that I've been dealing with are caterpillars, which I've got BT on order. It's supposed to get here today. I have also been dealing with some rampant squirrel issues. So the squirrels, they just like to dig pecans into my beds, which doesn't work when you've got little seedlings. So dealing with the squirrels, dealing with the caterpillars, definitely wasn't something I expected. The other thing, as the seasons are changing, the sun is moving and my garden is actually not getting as much sun as it would have earlier in the year. So that's been an interesting little revelation that we've had to deal with. But with that being said, I feel like the soil is pretty healthy. I'm seeing a lot of mushrooms, I'm seeing a lot of earthworms, a lot of things are happening. What I will say is the no-dig method, I probably should have let this break down a little bit longer before I actually planted things in it, or I should have dug through the cardboard to actually plant the transplants, because I think I'm dealing with some stunted growth that has to do with the cardboard being really hard for the roots to break through. So with all of those forewarnings, let me show you what's going on in the backyard. Okay, so we will start on the patio. What used to be here was my big fabric planter. That has since moved. It was not working out and the squirrels were like having a field day. So I'm trying out some grow bags for the first time. So these grow bags are full of dirt. What I've got growing here is zucchini. So we actually have a long enough growing season where I can still grow summer squash. So we've got zucchini here. We have some Romanesco squash. And then we have yellow straight-necked squash in some of these. I don't actually remember which one's which, so we'll find out once they start producing fruit. But they are doing pretty well. Squash grow really fast, so we likely won't see cold enough temperatures to kill these in the next 45 to 60 days because we are in central Texas. So that's what's happening there, some late squash. And then I bought a thing. I bought a green stalk. I actually filmed a whole entire video of me putting this green stalk planter together, and then the footage was corrupted, so that was great. But I really love the green stalk so far. I've got it all planted up with, I've got some lettuce seeds as well as some spinach seeds, and then what you'll see are transplants of lettuce and kale. The way that this vertical planter works is you put water in the reservoir up here, and then through this hole it feeds down into the whole entire system and it drip irrigates everything. So right now I've got some kind of like red leaf lettuce, got some kale, and these were all transplants that I just bought at the store. We've got some romaine, and then in these empty ones is where I've put some lettuce and spinach seeds. So I will leave a link down below to where you can actually find this. That's what's happening in the green stalk. It's like a salad tower. Moving over here, and then I'll take you to the vegetable beds. This is that herb and flower bed that I planted. The mums are spent. So the mums still have some blossoms on them that are gonna come up. I've been deadheading these and just pulling off the spent blooms so it doesn't look so dead. And then we'll get one more bloom out of it. But the mums have one more bloom and then they'll be done. The basil is kind of starting to come back. Lemon balm's doing well. Some of the zinnias that took back here are getting ready to bloom. Our peppermint's still alive, which is good. And then we've got rosemary over there. And then these were some blue salvias or purple salvias that I got from the store as rescue plants. They're not looking super great, but I have faith. They've got some new growth. One of the things I started trying to use to manage the squirrels is this netting. I don't think I really had a good system of how to use the netting because the squirrels were still getting in. I'm not gonna lie, now I just let my dogs out every time I see the squirrel out here. And I'm just hoping to scare it away. But also something I would like to try is hanging really shiny Christmas ornaments or old CDs and DVDs. Apparently there's something about the like shininess of it that freaks them out. And in here, what's happening in this first bed is a lot. So this kale that was in these first couple of rows, some of it is doing great. Like we've been eating off of some of these. You can see this is what insect damage looks like, ladies and gents. Giant holes just eaten out of my kale. So this is blue curled Scotch kale. We have been eating off of this a little bit. There's some plants we have been harvesting off of. Some of these just are kind of puny and I'm not really sure why. So like these guys in front are just really small and I'm not sure if I planted them too close to the other ones or not really sure what's happening there. And then back here we've got some red romaine lettuce that's doing pretty well. These were transplants because I basically lost this whole row of broccoli. So that was all broccoli and it either got dug up by squirrels or it was eaten by caterpillars. So that is great, good stuff. And then behind that we have the row of Brussels sprouts. And again, these were transplants. Some of them are kind of trying to hang on. Some of them, like that guy's doing okay. But for the most part, they just, I don't know if it's the heat or the pest pressure. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'm gonna try and save them. We'll see. One of the things that I did plant that I don't normally grow, cabbage. This is a cabbage I bought as a transplant, and literally the only reason I bought it was because it showed on the thing that it grows as big as a baby. This is OS Cross School cabbage, and like I said, I actually don't really love cabbage, but I just wanted to give it a test and see how well I could grow it. But yeah, broccoli was over there, totally lost it. So I'm kind of just trying to fill in the holes. I'm kind of hoping that those little Brussels sprouts can make it, but I have a lot of doubts if I'm being honest. And then over here, I actually planted, I put down some soil and I planted some flowers. That was a Montauk daisy that I rescued. It was in the clearance section at the store, and look, it's actually growing new blooms. So that bloom was not there when I brought it home. Very exciting. And so I also spread a bunch of just flower seeds to get something growing in here. So we've just got lots of different flowers, meteor zinnias, canary yellow zinnias. Not sure what this one is. I think I might have even put some like teddy bear sunflower seeds in here. So all of these flower seeds are kind of just starting to come up and sprout. We're gonna see what happens there, but like the stupid caterpillar went after my flowers. It's so annoying. I started bordering this middle bed, this square bed, which we'll talk about that hot mess in a second. I started bordering this with some rescue zinnias. Again, can you just please talk about the caterpillar damage? And so some of these zinnias looked just really bad. They really just were very root bound. Just to kind of dissect that, you'll know something is root bound when you pick it up out of the little like transplant pot and it's all of its roots are right at the bottom and you can see them and they're really tangled. If you have somewhere to immediately plant those, that's actually a really great investment. They're usually really cheap. I knew that I had somewhere to plant them and I've just been watering them, giving them a little TLC, and they're coming back. So if you're gardening on a budget and you have somewhere to plant this stuff, just go ahead and buy it and see if you can rescue it. You probably can, especially if it's root bound. All right, let's talk about this disaster of a garden. Okay, y'all. So this was my bed of radishes. This is what happens to radishes when it's too warm outside. It's too warm. They won't actually create a bulb, and they'll just bolt and try and create seeds. So the radishes were a little bit of a disaster. I got some. I pulled these to show you guys. So just to kind of show you up close, this is what radishes will do when it's too hot out. They'll kind of start to have all these little leaves and they'll just bolt. So like, that's never actually gonna turn into a radish. That's just gonna bolt and become seeds. Yeah, so it's okay. Failures happen, but kind of a bummer. So then over here, same story, more flower seeds that are popping up everywhere. So hopefully we'll have some really pretty flowers here in the next couple of months. And then again, another Montauk daisy. I just freaking love these things. And then this is the final bed. So this bed's actually doing, I would give it a B-. A lot of the stuff I planted is having a hard time because of pest pressure. Again, here's a perfect example. That is all caterpillar damage. Yeah, that's what that is. So again, gonna spray. I'm gonna spray some BT today and see if we can't correct this issue. What I did do though is I planted some lettuce in this bed. This is a romaine. There's a red romaine over there. Those are actually doing really well. And then there's some more squash back there. Oh, guys, there's my squirrel. He's up there right now, laughing at me. So again, I think some of the stuff that I planted, some of my broccolis did survive and are doing something, but these broccolis, I really think part of the issue was that their growth is stunted because they can't get past the cardboard. That is it. That is all of my gardens going into October. We're having a very unseasonably warm October, but that means that we're gonna get some life out of some vegetables that we don't normally get life out of. A lot of lessons learned. Establishing a new garden is not as easy as I thought it was gonna be, and definitely learning that I should have dug through the cardboard when I planted my transplants. I think that's the one thing that would have made a big difference. I can probably still save some of those transplants if I like dig them up and then break through the cardboard and then replant them. And I think that's something that I'll probably do to try and save some of these transplants that are like hanging on for dear life. But thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content about gardening in Central Texas, Zone 8B, and also gluten-free recipes and just how to bring your garden into your kitchen and utilize everything that you grow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. We'll see you next time.